Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back to my channel, my lovelies. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I am so happy you found me. I do so hope that you will like and subscribe before you leave. Become part of the Mama family. Mama's got your back, at least where makeup's concerned, and definitely when that makeup is cheap. So, today I was kind of struggling for video ideas. I was kind of like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what I want to do. So I just kind of started going through my collection. And a lot of times I'll go through my collection and I'll go through palettes or what have you. And it'll just like inspiration will strike. I'll find a color story that just I fall in love with. And I'm like, I need this on my face right now. But I went through my collection today and I came across a couple of products that I haven't even looked at in absolutely forever. So today's video is going to be all about makeup I forgot I had. It's a full face. I have a full face of makeup I forgot was even in my collection. Things that used to be holy grails that I have no idea why I stopped using. And I am so excited to share all of these amazing drugstore products with you guys today. If you guys are wondering what this fabulousness on my eyes is, I did do a TikTok. I'll have the link for that in the description box below, along with everything I'm going to use or talk about in today's video. I think this eye look turned out so pretty. I've had this makeup on, what time is it now? It is 8:17 in the evening. I've had my makeup done since around 2, so that's what, 6 hours? It's been on for 6 hours now. My eyeshadow is probably ruined by this point because my eyes have been watering all day, but I have got to give it up for this foundation. It is so good. Okay, so that's going to start us off. We'll talk about the foundation first. Well, we'll talk about primer first. I'm so excited I don't even know where to start. So for primer today, I used the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. Now, this is an oldie but a goodie. I stopped using this because I usually prefer a more hydrating, glowy kind of primer. And even though this says it's a hydrating primer, it is not. It is a silicone-based primer. It goes on the face. It pretty much blurs and smooths out your pores. Just kind of gives you a clean slate, a nice smooth even surface to start from, but it is not hydrating in any way, shape, or form. It is basically, it's like liquid silicone that you're kind of smoothing all over your face. Not my favorite texture, but I will tell you what, my skin looks so smooth. I'll get super close up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. My pores don't look huge. My forehead lines look pretty good. I'm really happy with how my makeup looks. So this primer definitely does what it says it's going to do, and of course it's e.l.f., so it's super affordable. I love this thing. Definitely going to be using this more often. Next, I want to talk about foundation. So I was going through my makeup collection. Y'all, I found this bottle of foundation. Do y'all remember this? This is the Maybeline Dream Liquid Mousse. Do y'all remember that? This is probably the oldest bottle of foundation in my collection. I didn't even realize I still had this. This is so old and so incredibly expired. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's all like separated and the oil is all gross in there. I did not put this on my face today. But I wanted to show you guys because I couldn't believe I still had this foundation. I have super dry skin, and this foundation definitely did not do my skin any favors. But back in the day, I would put this on, and I really thought I was hot stuff. So in light, just kind of trying to mimic that just a little bit, I used the Maybeline Dream Satin Liquid. And they are in almost identical pumps, except this one is nude, and the top of this one is like a rose gold. But this is the foundation I have on today. It's the Dream Satin Liquid in the shade 20. It says it is a hydrating serum foundation. It is just a teeny weeny bit dark for me, but that's okay. It'll be perfect in the summer. Y'all, when I tell you this foundation probably wears better than like 90% of my foundations. I look absolutely stunning. I have eaten dinner in this foundation. I'm kind of flabbergasted. Usually my under eyes would be looking really rough by this point, and especially my forehead because my forehead lines are so deep, but my skin looks so good still. I'm flabbergasted. I am totally in love with this. It is the Dream Satin Liquid. You guys know that the Dream Radiant Liquid is one of my favorite foundations of all time. I believe it was in my best of 2022 videos, but this one, wow. Like, today was my first time wearing it and testing it out, but my goodness gracious, it is going into the rotation because I'm so in love with it. I'm like speechless. It is so, so good. Can you believe how good my skin looks after 6 hours of wear? I'm losing my mind. After that, okay, so after that, I went in with this bad boy, and this used to be like a holy grail of mine. It was the first contour I ever used. It was kind of like dipping a toe into the contour pool, and this is the WetNWild contour stick in the shade Wears Walnut. And y'all, I used this today. Wow. I'm going to swatch a little bit of it on just so you can see. It is deep. It is dark. There is something about the tone of this contour stick, though, that just kind of like blew me away. It is very, very red. It's not showing up that way on the camera so much, but it is a very kind of red toned contour. And I would say that this is more of like a bronzer than it is a contour. I kind of want to swatch it against my NYX contour stick and see how they compare, because I feel like they're going to be pretty similar, but I feel like the NYX has more of a cool undertone, whereas the WetNWild is more red. Yeah, so you can see how this has more of like that cool kind of undertone, and this one just shows up a little bit more red, but they are super, super similar. There is a reason that this was a holy grail of mine back in the day. I would say that this is probably going to be more so like my summer contour shade, just because it does pull a little bit more red on my skin, but it blends out absolutely effortlessly. It's creamy, it's dreamy, and Lord have mercy, it's so cheap. My NYX contour stick is like $11, and I think the WetNWild contour stick is around $5. So winner, winner, chicken dinner. This is so, so good. Definitely going into the rotation. I still love my NYX contour stick so, so very much, but this is so, so good too. I am so happy to have found this again. I think one of the best parts of going through your collection and going through, you know, all of your makeup stashes is you really get to find products like I did today that you just forgot that you loved so much. I think the makeup world moves so quickly, and especially when you like make videos and do YouTube and stuff like that, you're always trying to keep up with new releases and, you know, just trying to stay current. But things are holy grails and things are classics for a reason, and I am so incredibly happy that I have found some of these old products. So I did primer, foundation, and contour. Let's go into concealer. And this concealer, goodness gracious, Lord Almighty, when I tell you this concealer is spectacular. This is the NYX Born to Glow concealer. It's the Radiant Concealer in the shade Alabaster. This is probably one of the prettiest, fullest coverage. I wouldn't say super full coverage, but it's got like a high medium coverage. It is stunning. It goes onto the under eyes. It looks, it's incredibly brightening, but it goes on and it's got like a very skin-like, almost glowy kind of finish to it that just brings so much life to the under eyes. It is so, so pretty. So this has a sponge tip applicator. Very, very reminiscent of one of my favorites of last year, which was the Revlon Skin Awake concealer. Very, very similar. I feel like the formulas of these, the Revlon Skin Awake and the NYX Born to Glow, I feel like they're super, super similar. I would say the NYX is probably just a little bit thicker and a little bit more full coverage, but wow, wow, wow. And I think that they discontinued the Born to Glow line, which makes me so, so sad, because this is literally the last Born to Glow concealer I have. When this is gone, I'm going to be so, so sad. And that's probably part of the reason why I stopped using it. I try not to use products that you guys can't get a hold of anymore, because especially like this product, when I fall in love with it and I sit here and I preach about it, and you guys can't get your hands on it, that's not really fair, but this is such a pretty concealer. I know that they still sell the Born to Glow foundation on Amazon. I haven't checked to see if they have the concealer on there, but if you guys really want to try to get a hold of it, definitely check Amazon. This is so good. And you guys know how I feel about the Born to Glow foundation. One of my absolute favorites. It is so incredibly similar to the Givenchy Prisma Libre foundation. Oh, so good. Next, let's talk about powder. So you guys know how I feel about my L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder. You guys know that this is my absolute go-to. I literally use it every single time I do my makeup. I love this stuff so much. But today I used this one, and this is the Covergirl Clean Fresh Pressed Powder. I have mine in the shade 120 Fair. Goodness gracious, oh, it is so good. First of all, packaging, super cute. 10 out of 10. It's got a nice sturdy plastic package. I love the color. It's that gorgeous kind of baby bubblegum pink. So cute. White lettering. I love the pink and white color combo. Anyway, you open it up, you have a nice very clear mirror, and then this is your powder. When I tell you this powder is so beautiful on the under eyes, it's what I'm wearing on my under eyes today. And again, I've had this on for 6 hours. I don't think that I look super dry or cakey in any way. It just goes on. It doesn't have a ton of coverage, but it gives just a little bit of brightness. It adds just a little touch of extra coverage. It is so smoothing and brightening and just lightweight and beautiful. This is such a gorgeous powder. And you guys know how I am with my powders. I am so picky. When you have under eyes that are drier than the Sahara, it's really difficult to find a drugstore powder that doesn't emphasize that. And this went on and it just looked so pretty. I have it, I set my entire face with it today. Again, I just can't get over how pretty my skin looks. This is so good. I love it so much. Next, okay, so I pulled out this highlight palette and I actually used this on my eyes today as well. This is the Revolution Reloaded Luster Lights Cool highlight palette, and the reason I picked this up was because it was on sale like dirt cheap. I think I paid $2 for this palette, but you get 4 different pans, 4 very generous pans of colored highlights, and I love highlights like this, especially for my eyes, as a topper, as an inner corner or brow bone highlight. I love it doing a playful moment and doing a colorful highlight on the face. They're just so pretty. And this one in particular, this really gorgeous kind of duochromatic pink highlighter, it shifts from pink. I don't know if that's going to show up. Let me see if I can get a better swatch. But it shifts from pink to purple. It is so incredibly beautiful. It is not, it doesn't enhance texture. It just goes on. It doesn't look powdery. It's just a really pretty highlight. And I don't know if they still sell this one or not. I didn't have time to look it up before I started filming. But if you can get your hands on this, and if you enjoy a duochromatic, colorful highlight moment, I think this is such an amazing palette. But I also, for like just highlight on my face today, I used this one. This is the WetNWild Hello Halo Blush Lighter. This is in the shade Highlight Bling. And this is what I used for highlight on my face today. Tell me that's not just absolutely stunning. This is probably one of the prettiest WetNWild highlighters I've used in the longest time. And I don't know why I don't reach for it. So you have one pan that's got more of like a pinky kind of hue to it. And then you have the other pan that's got more of like a pinky champagne color. And they're just so pretty. This one is more of a blush topper. This one's more of a highlight. What I did today for my application is I just kind of swirled my brush back and forth between both pans. And I just kind of lightly put it right over the highest points of my face. And when I tell you, this is probably one of the prettiest highlights I've used in a minute. I am so incredibly in love with it. It doesn't seem to be like emphasizing my texture. It's not chunky or glittery in any way. It's just incredibly, it's just pretty. It's just pretty. And the best part about it is it's WetNWild, so that means it's incredibly affordable. Guys, I love WetNWild. I do. I love so many of their products. They're just so good. And WetNWild makes some of the best highlighters at the drugstore, bar none. Some of the most finely milled. They almost never have those big chunky glitter reflex in there. I really do adore glitter, but I like glitter on my eyes, not necessarily all over my face. And this gives you like that, really just that little bit of a pink flush, but it gives you that gorgeous, spectacular kind of reflective, light-catching goodness that I just cannot get enough of. This is stunning. You can also put it on really lightly and get a lit from within kind of glow, or you can build it up like I did today and get a really gorgeous kind of like, look at me highlight. It's fantastic. So good. Ooh, another one that I don't think I've ever used this blush on my channel before. This is the Covergirl Cheekers blush. This is in the shade Pink Candy or Candy Pink? Pink Candy. Y'all, I like this blush. It is, of course, not the best blush that I've ever used. It is the blush that I'm wearing today. Y'all, when I tell you I had to build this blush, I had to build this blush. But the color is so pretty. It is a very sheer, very buildable kind of blush. It just kind of goes on and it gives you the slightest, y'all can even barely see that. It gives you the slightest little hint of a wash of color. I used my favorite blush brush. This is my e.l.f. angled blush brush. It is a very dense, very stiff blush brush. And the great thing about this is it really packs on the pigment. So I took my brush and really just kind of like rubbed in there and had to do that a couple times to get it to this, to this pink. But if you like a really light flush of color, I think this color is beautiful. I'm not going to recommend this one to you guys just because it is so lightly and gently pigmented that it's not going to last you very long because I had to use so much of it today. I don't think that it's worth it. There are definitely better formulations at the drugstore, much more pigmented formulations at the drugstore. But I did want to mention it anyways, just because it is such a pretty color. And after quite a few layers, I think it looks really beautiful on the cheeks. I just think that it might be a little bit more work than it's worth. But it is a really pretty color. Ooh, another WetNWild product. I'm telling you, WetNWild came in and saved the day today. So the next product is the WetNWild Color Icon bronzer, and this is in the shade Sunset Striptease. And I remember when I purchased this, I got this from Walmart. I think it was like, again, around $5. But the reason I didn't use this was because it was pretty shimmery. And I thought when I bought it, I was fairly new to the makeup game, and I thought it was a little bit dark. It is not. It is an absolutely gorgeous shade. That's it right there. It's a really pretty shade of bronzer. The thing I like about this bronzer is it has just a little bit of luminosity to it. It's not a flat matte bronzer. And if you guys know, if you've been here before, you will know that one of my favorite bronzers of all time is the L'Oreal Lumi bronzer. And that has just the smallest amount of very finely milled shimmer in it. And this one worked pretty much the same way. I will say that this one is definitely a little bit warmer than my L'Oreal. But y'all, I feel like I've been kissed by the sun today. It went on and it blended so beautifully. I think that's one of the things I enjoy the most about luminous bronzers is the blendability. And a lot of times brands will do it to eyeshadows. If they're finding an eyeshadow formula is having a difficult time blending it out, they'll add sequins to it or shimmer to it to kind of help the blending process. And I feel like that very much helped this bronzer because it just goes on and it looks so smooth, and it looks it's the lightest kind of wash of sun-kissed, just like scrumptiousness. It is so good. I'm very upset that it's been in my collection for this long and I haven't been using it. I know just the other day I was talking about the fact that I only have a couple of bronzers and they're all from L'Oreal, and I was able to fish this one out of the recesses of my collection, and I'm so glad that I did. This is definitely going to be used so much more in the very near future. Again, this is probably more of like a summertime bronzer for me just because it is a little bit warmer. but come this summer, I am going to be a bronzed and beautiful sun-drenched goddess, and I'm going to love every minute of it. The next thing, I wanted to talk about another Wet n Wild product, but it's this one right here. This is the Hello Halo Liquid Highlighter. This is in the shade Halo Goodbye. And this is probably one of the first liquid highlighters that I ever played with. And I just kind of wanted to talk about it for just a second because it is such a beautiful, beautiful, easy to use formula. So that's it right there. It goes on, it blends out beautifully, and it just leaves the most gorgeous kind of subtle, lit from within kind of glow on the skin. The thing about this formulation is it works beautiful over foundation. It works beautiful over powder. It just goes on easily. You can blend it out with your fingers, with a sponge. I prefer to blend it out with a beauty sponge, but it just goes on. It looks so seamless and so glowy. But again, there's no glitter, there's no chunkiness. It's just super beautiful, reflective, glowy, just gorgeousness. And it is such a great product. Moving on. Oh, okay. So this thing right here, I think we only have maybe a couple of products left. So this one right here, y'all, believe it or not, I picked this up from the dollar store. I want to say maybe like a year and a half ago. And this was when I was trying to experiment with concealer lips and that really drastic kind of ombre lip that was popular a little while back. This is the BYS Velvet Lips Liquid Lipstick. And I'm actually wearing this today on my lips. I just have this and a little bit of my NYX Moonwalk Suede Lip Liner. This combo together, stunning. But I just lined my lips pretty heavily with the Moonwalk lip liner and then just put a touch of this right in the center. It has a very old school flat kind of doe foot applicator. It goes on to the center of the lips though. It literally looks like concealer. And I just tap it out. Right in the center of the lips, and it just gives you that really beautiful kind of extreme ombre look. It is so good. I think everybody needs to have a super light kind of concealer lipstick in their collection just for ombre lips. A lot of times, even with like a red lip, with a dark berry lip, with a black lip, a lot of times if you put just a teeny tiny dot of a super light liquid lipstick in the center of your lips, it instantly gives your lips dimension. It's a super easy way to do that kind of ombre lip trend. And this is a really great one. I paid $1 for this, and it still works just as beautifully now as it did when I purchased it. The BYS brand is one of my very favorite brands. It was one of the very first ones that I started to experiment with. They are an Australian makeup company, but they make some of the absolute cutest little palettes that come in this tin packaging. They're so cute. I have featured the brand on my channel before. I'll try to link the videos below if I can find him. I know it was quite a while ago, but I actually really enjoy the BYS brand. Such a good brand. And I think, is that everything? I think that was everything in today's video. It's definitely everything that I have on my face. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. It is so much fun to just dig through your collection. And especially if you're anything like me and have kind of a large collection, sometimes it's fun to just see what you have. I've been experiencing quite a bit of FOMO here recently, just because there have been so many amazing drugstore releases, and I just don't have the money right now, especially after Christmas. I know we're all feeling the pinch right now. We kind of went overboard for Christmas just a little bit, and we're paying for it now. So I'm pretty much on a very low to no buy, at least for this month. So I'm just kind of trying to look within my own collection for things that excite me, for things that bring me joy and inspire me. And that just goes to show you that even though you think that, you know, your collection is boring and there's nothing here, I need something new, look through your collection. Really take the time to look at what you already own and see, does this excite me? How long has it been since I've used this? And it will amaze you how much joy you can get from just rediscovering something old. Guys, as always, I will list everything that I talked about in today's video in the description box below, along with the tags to all my other social medias, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. I always post finished pictures over on Instagram and Facebook. If you guys are not following me everywhere, make sure you go do that. I post fun content every single day, and if you're following me everywhere, you don't have to worry about missing a single moment of it. As always, no filters, no edits, no fancy lighting. It's just me sitting in front of my camera, playing with some old makeup, hoping you guys are enjoying what I'm doing. Until next time, my beautiful, amazing loverlies, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and remember, you're important. Bye.